Well, viewers to the Musical Youth Foundation's Instrumental Arts Exhibition, this is what you'll see. You might not see Chris on the day, but Chris Marr, welcome back again.
Thanks, Michael.
Chris, this is the third leg, if you like, of the Dublin Soul Festival. Of course, the Soul Picnic was a major element of it, and the Gospel Brunch. This is the third element. How's it been going so far?
Well, this is instrumental art. Michael, it's a project by the Musical Youth Foundation. We've collaborated with over 100 artists, designers, musicians, and they've created over 100 wonderful pieces of art where the musical instrument is actually the canvas, such as you might have seen when you just walked in the door. This is our high voltage
just have a look at this
drum robot, which was an old set of drums that was very generously donated to us. It was beyond playing, I suppose. It would have needed a couple of €100 to bring it back into full use. So we gave it to a couple of street artists, Solace, and a gentleman called Brendan Marr, and they found an old microwave and a set of shades, and this is the result. And it gets better from here. I mean, this is fantastic. And as you see, if you follow me around.
Let's have a look at this one here, Chris, because this is, I think, one of the most eye-catching pieces in the exhibition. Tell us about this one here. This is started off live as a violin and a mannequin's head.
Absolutely. It was a very old violin. When I say very old, it wasn't worth any money. It was sitting in a barn somewhere, completely unloved and unused, and we sanded it and gave it to Joyce Garvey, the artist, and well, you can see she's been very, very creative in creating something completely different from it, and it's great. I'm told, I haven't tried it on myself, but we had a model here on our opening night who wandered around wearing a dress that was also designed by Joyce and wearing a piece, and she loved it. It's quite soft at the back, so it doesn't hurt the head, and it's quite light because it's quite a small violin, so it's kind of cool.
Well, all I can say is that this is a typical of Joyce's work. I cannot wait to see her studio. So tell us, Chris, there's a lot of guitars in this room. Is it mainly guitars that are in the exhibition, because they do give a good surface area?
Well, they certainly do. There's all sorts of instruments, quite a few guitars. There's also a lot of violins, and as you saw on the entrances, drum sets as well. So it's pretty much any old instrument that we get our hands on. The various artists, designers, and musicians picked a piece that they liked, and then, as you can see, looking around, they've just created all these wonderful pieces. Some of them are still playable. Others, as you'll see this piece in front of
this one here has really seen better days, hasn't it?
Indeed. Well, it's done well, guitars by a lady called Anne McGill, and I don't know if you can see there, there's actually
it's got a set of shoes on the back, hasn't it? I'll just wander around here. I do, I love it. Yes.
So, I mean, it's just one of the fantastic pieces that have been created.
Where do the instruments come from, Chris? Because when we spoke earlier in the year, you were asking for donations. Are they all from the public, or?
All the instruments have been donated by members of the public, and where the instruments were of really good quality, we've kept them and we passed them on to children in our Guitars for Kids program, and we're rolling out an instrument bank as well, because we've got quite a lot of keyboards and drums and bits and pieces like that. So the pieces that were in really, really good nick, that's what we've kept those for, and the other pieces that, as I say, were a little bit beyond musical repair. There was a lot of broken necks on guitars and stuff like that. We repaired them so that they looked the part, and then we personally hand sanded them all, and then gave them out to the different artists and designers. Here's another piece by Helen Barry called Sound. I don't know if you'll be able to pick it up on the camera, but she's actually drilled the word sound into the scratch plate, which she's obviously raised up.
See what, Helen?
And then she's
she has done, hasn't she? Well done, Helen. Yes.
So it's just amazing, the different pieces and the creativity of people. Over behind you, Michael, we have another piece here called Music as Medicine.
This one I loved, yes. This is it's originally the body of a violin, isn't it?
This was an old violin by a gentleman called James Carroll. Took it from us, and you can see it's completely filthy here. It's all ground on dirt and stuff that's picked up over the years. If it could tell tales, I'm sure it's some great stories to tell of nights or of music played around the parlour or whatever. The beauty about this is dun, 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 it opens up.
Yes, a touch of the Damien Hirst's almost about it, really, isn't there?
Indeed, you can see the different bottles that the artist has placed in them. There's one that says blues on it. Here Comes the Sun, which we were very lucky to have at the Soul Picnic just this weekend gone. It's just a beautiful piece, and just how creative to get that.
I'm calling this multi-medium rather than multimedia, Chris. How do you feel about that in the sense of what I'm talking about here is taking the medium of art, combining it with the medium of music to produce a third medium? How do you feel?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, that's certainly a good way to put it, Michael. I mean, this is I love this piece myself, the car guitar. It's by a gentleman called Joe Hickey, who's quite a well-known artist. Anyone who know their art, which I didn't before I started doing this, would know Joby, and he's quite well known for his cars. That's just fantastic. And now I can't say it. I'm probably not doing it justice doing that, but unfortunately I'd love to get a guitar. But it's still a working instrument as well, which I think is the beauty about it. Then here we have, this is Atlantic Blues by another very well-known artist, Rod Coyne. It's just a beautiful piece. We decided, well actually we didn't decide, we just ran out of time, and so we didn't put strings back onto it. But it is something, the guitar with strings, heads put back onto it would be completely functional. And then, appropriately enough, beside Rod Coyne is his wife Anya Coyne. She decided she wasn't leaving Rod to have all the glory.
Okay, so the boys aren't getting all the credit this time around.
It was such I suppose, they got the idea, they got the concept. It was something new, it was something different, but also, it was a great cause. Helping children access music education, I think is something that everybody can relate to, and everyone can understand how important it is to sort of feed that side of a child's brain, that it's not just all kind of the academic side, that the creative side needs feeding as well. That's what music can do. Yeah. This piece now, I have to pick up and show you. I've been recently purchased by a gentleman called Derek Lyons, and I'm sure people will recognise the Halfpenny Bridge.
Indeed.
Now, one of the things I love about this piece, when you turn it around, you have the north side view of the bridge and then the south side view of the bridge. So it's up to yourself.
Somebody has been very clever.
Which version? And you can even see, I don't know if the camera will pick it up, the side on the sides, it's the side view. So a lot of attention to detail has gone.
It's wonderful graphic, isn't it? So who's this gorgeous guy we've got here, Chris, on the painting?
Well, this is by an artist called Ken, and this is a guy called Colin, and he wasn't originally part of the plan, and it was just the guitar, and we decided, geez, wouldn't it be great if we had a busker spray painted on the wall? And we rang Ken, and he thought, brilliant, I like that idea, but it's Monday, and the exhibition opens on Thursday. But he got Colin in. Colin's from a band called I Draw Snow, plays the banjo, and if you ever meet him, you'll know, because he looks exactly like he does there. It's amazing the detail that Ken's managed to bring out. Well, the piece I think is lovely. It's a three-dimensional piece, obviously, and it's obviously there for sale. You can buy it. I suppose you need a very large wall.
This is what? Is it a drum table or a drum seat?
No, it's as it says here, I'm a table, not a chair.
Okay, yes.
It was an old set of drums, and a gentleman called Carl Swede took them and sort of visualised them as a coffee table,
and away he goes.
There it is, and it works fantastically well. And there's loads of great pieces. I mean, we just don't have the time to go through each and every one. As I said, there's over 100 pieces in the exhibition, but hopefully people will like what they see on the walls and decide to come and check out the rest of the exhibition, because there are so many beautiful pieces.
So just tell us about this piece here. This is our very own Imelda May herself. Tell us about that one, Chris. What's the origin of this?
This piece is called Imelda May Rocks, and it's by a gentleman called Brendan Higgins. And it's one of the first guitars actually that we sounded and sent out, and well, as you can see, that's how it came back to us. Essentially, it could still be a functioning guitar if somebody wanted to play it. We haven't had time to put the strings back onto it, and just so many pieces.
Has the immortal Imelda seen it herself?
Well, we've sent the photographs to our management team, so hopefully they've passed them on. We thought she'd certainly be interested to see it. I think it's such a great likeness for her.
Well,
without seeing the little sign there, I think everyone would recognise that it's the great Imelda. It's important to note that all the pieces are for sale, Michael. And any money that we raise here over the month-long duration of the exhibition goes to the Musical Youth Foundation, which means we can buy more instruments for kids, provide more tuition for kids, and that's a positive thing. And I think that's really what the exhibition is all about. This is actually the first guitar that came back when we conceptualised the project and sent it out there. A lady called Catherine Ryan brought this one back to us, and we just love it. It's just such a nice piece, and actually, when you look at it, your eye gets drawn in. There's so many bits, and I don't want to spoil it for people who are going to come to the exhibition, but just to give you an idea, we've got a rubber duck here. One of those old little games that had the ball bearing in it, where you have to kind of get around a maze. There's just so many pieces to see, and there's such detail to it. And I think quite often people discount this because it kind of looks like, at first glance, maybe a child did it, but when you get up close like I am, there is so much detail in this, and it's so well finished and so well executed. It's a fantastic, fantastic piece. I have a big love for this. It is, as I say, the first piece that came into the office over 8 months ago when we started working on this project.
It's certainly one of the most eye-catching, isn't it?
It certainly is. It's a lot of things.
Yeah, but almost everything is really, isn't it?
These are the hanging pieces. We give them a little trill.
I like those ones.
So there's basically two sides to every story.
And is that Sinead I'm seeing on that one?
You're catching a glimpse of Sinead there. Yeah. Bring her around for you.
Yes.
See that?
That is when Sinead was going through her Mother Teresa phase. Well, as I say, it's a really good image, and I know that Sinead likes to play the guitar herself. Yeah.
This piece there, I think, is fantastic. Obviously, this was one of the
this
instruments.
This has a Pete Townsend quality about it, doesn't it? After Pete had smashed a few.
Absolutely. Now, obviously, when this came into us, we were looking at it going, Jesus, there's not much we can do with this piece. But we gave it to the artist, and you can see that they've suspended it from our ceiling here at the top floor of the Stephen's Green Shopping Centre. Yeah. We've even gone to such detail. There's a bit of guitar string there, a bit of wood from the body, and more parts down here. And it's just, I love this piece.
I think it is. I think that one is rock and roll, isn't it? I mean, it's
definitely rock and roll.
Yeah, there's a quality about that one.
What a lot of people are doing, we find, is they're sneaking in behind it and they're kind of getting up and trying to kind of look like they're playing it or something. I won't do that.
And mandolins, this is interesting because a change. Does the style of art change as the instrument changes? Because it seems that it changes between males and females. The females are brighter colours, but I just wonder, does it change as they've got more surface area to work with?
It may well be true. To be honest with you, we've been so busy putting the exhibition together. We've just taken each piece as it comes, and we haven't actually, I haven't had time to actually wander around the rooms and analyse each individual piece and kind of go, well, maybe there's something in it, what the guys are doing or what the girls are doing. And I personally, I just love each and every piece because I know the amount of sort of blood, sweat and tears, if you like, that has gone into creating them. I mean, something, if you look at this piece here, called Roosters, it's by a Polish lady. I mean, there's just such detail on it, you get rightly drawn into it, and you can tell that a lot of time and effort obviously went into creating it, as indeed it did in all the pieces. This is one of the first pieces to sell on our launch night, actually.
Labours of love, we'd call them.
I think they are all labours of love. Yeah. I mean, that is one of the things about this project, Michael. All the artists, as they were coming back into the office, bringing the pieces back to us, they loved it. Yep. They really enjoyed being a part of the project. Sure, it's got a charitable element to it. We're trying to raise funds for the Musical Youth Foundation, but I think it's just such a unique idea. Everybody embraced it and was delighted to be.
Did anybody say no?
Well, I mean, we actually have a list of artists who want to contribute yet still to the project, and I suppose the problem was that we were running out of instruments to give them, and I was running out of patience to sand the damn things because it takes a lot of work to do that. But we still have, as I say, some instruments, and some artists are still working. So within a couple of weeks we'll have another sort of a fresh addition to the exhibition, so people can come back and see some more stuff from some more artists. And there is talk of maybe continuing the exhibition, maybe even doing it again next year as sort of a phase 2, because people are certainly so very positive about it. It's been a huge attraction for tourists as well. We've had, I think, probably about 75% of the audience so far that have come through, that have signed our visitors book, are overseas tourists, and they love it. It's something different, I suppose, than the average thing to come and see when you go and visit a country. So given the times we're living in, tourism is extremely important to the economy. That's an extra benefit, which we're delighted to create for people,
Chris, Bowrons, I mean, you don't really get much more Irish than the Bowron itself. Tell us about these ones here. Is that it's like a turn of the century French Postman, is it, or what have we got on that particular
Well,
barrel?
this piece is called Within the Lines,
Okay.
by an artist called Christina Speichert. That's just a fantastic piece. I think people will recognise the image. Then we have this one, I'll get out of the shot.
Yeah.
Ronan O'Snubig from Keela. So it's a beautiful piece. And this is, you just go from one name to the other.
Yeah.
This is, certainly I would know from my childhood, this piece was created by Donald Conroy.
Yes.
It's an old 12-string guitar. You can't see it, but on the back it's actually smashed in, so it was beyond musical use, and Don, as you see, has given it a new lease of life.
Certainly has, hasn't
I really
he?
like the way he's left this. This was sort of the original finish on the guitar, so it's kind of there. So it's kind of, I like it. I like the way that he's done that. And we go from this piece then to a favourite in the exhibition. This is by an artist and musician called Brian Pam. He's an RHA artist. He also is in the band Mary Stokes, the Mary Stokes Blues Band.
Okay.
An excellent harmonica player. I mean, absolutely fantastic.
So
And
he
a
would
lovely
be
guy.
multi-talented.
Multi-talented. And now he does a lot of painting. But this particular piece, and again, I love because
Is it
every
made out
piece
of
has a story.
prints?
These are all photographs of Dublin in the 80s, as Brian was living in Dublin during that period. You know, crumbling Dublin in some cases here, and just photographs that he took, and well, he's now transferred them onto this old guitar. Brian, I would describe as a very soulful character, a wonderful character, and he took the project to the next level because he wasn't happy just creating this beautiful image on the guitar. He wanted the guitar to have a great new start to its new life. So he brought it down to a music shop, had strings put on it, and then we all gathered in the Leeson Lounge a couple of Mondays ago, and he had some of Dublin's best musicians gather, and they all kind of gave it a bit of a christening, if you like, and they all played it. And there's actually some footage which we haven't had a chance to put up here yet. We'd like to try and display it somehow so people can see these great musicians playing the guitar and just giving it a reload.
Well, that's somebody who clearly is a perfectionist. The work he's done there is just extraordinary, and then to turn it into a working instrument again, something exceptional.
That's it. I mean, if somebody wanted to purchase this piece by Brian Pound, it's obviously an investment in a piece of art, but it's also a musical instrument with a great story, and I'm sure many new stories.
Now, this is a
still
really
to come
interesting
with it.
one, Chris. Tell us about that.
Well, this is called Metamorphosis, and it's by N.R.D. Anderson. And again, I really love this piece because I think it embodies the project. Obviously, it's called instrumental art, and we have the instrument and we have the traditional sort of frame, which people, I suppose, would be used to seeing around a canvas. And I just really like the way the artist has kind of taken the idea of the project and brought it to life.
He certainly has. I mean, that really is a mix and
It's one of the pieces that is really, really popular with visitors to the exhibition. Although all the pieces are, and that's the thing. I mean, it's just you go from one piece to the next piece to the next piece, and people are just like, "Wow, look at this!" I really like this piece here. I don't know whether it's going to.
Again, there's
actually a canvas placed on the inside. So you've got the guitar on the outside, but actually when you look inside, there's a canvas that's been specifically been, I'm losing my words, that has been created and put on the inside. That's by an artist called Joe Cummins, and it's a flamenco.
Well done, Joe, isn't it? That's it. Yes, it's
probably quite difficult to pick up there.
No, it's actually very good, very, very good indeed. So we just
and as you browse around the room, Michael, we've some fantastic pieces. We have, this is called Bill Monroe by Sandra Corrigan Branagh, and Bill Monroe is the father of bluegrass, and I mean the detail on this is just absolutely fantastic. It's also still playable. And we have the images on the back. This one is the last piece to come in so far, and it is by our very own Shay Healy.
Okay.
And it's titled The Scream, and I think it's a fantastic piece, and we're delighted to have
Not
Shay.
just a pretty face, Shay. He's and a great musician. He's also a talented artist as well. Because this is one I found really interesting. Tell us about that.
Well, this piece is called Blackbird, and I suppose you could say it's a brother or a sister to the piece we just saw with the framed guitar, because it's by the same artist, N.R.D. Anderson. The story behind this piece is the first ever piece of music that she learned to play on the guitar was Blackbird by the Beatles.
Okay.
And that inspired her creation. We absolutely love it. I think it's fantastic. It's just a lovely piece. I mean, you could have it in your garden, or you could have it somewhere sitting in your living room or something. And it's just such an unusual piece. And when you get up close to it, the amount of detail, you can see the time and effort that has gone into creating the birds and to the guitar. It's just fantastic. This is by an artist called Jimmy Shields, and well, you can see.
The movement in that is extraordinary. You come in and your eye is immediately taken to it.
Absolutely, and it's a beautiful piece. And yeah, I mean, what more can I say about it?
What do we know about the artist, Chris?
Jimmy Shields is the artist, and he's a musician as well as an artist. Well, you can see how creative he's got here with this particular piece. And I think it works really well when he's added the pieces of wood, and he's left the sand and finish on the guitar that we presented him with, and he's decided just to leave it like that. I mean, he could have thrown a splash of colour on it, but I think just as it is absolutely.
No, what he's done there, I think he's got an energy.
Depending on the place where you might hang this and the light that comes in, it throws out different shadows, and it's just a fantastic piece. And there's so many of them. I mean, I don't know where to point you next. I mean, here's a piece by William Mulhall.
This is the Bob Dylan one. I love this one as well. Yes.
And again, it's a fully functional guitar. Now, whether or not the eventual owner would want to play it, or whether they would just want to hang it up, or maybe do both. You know, I kind of like the idea that these pieces will be hanging in somebody's home, and maybe at some point they might take it down off the wall. And
who knows? It may end up in Chateau Zimmermann.
So this piece here, actually.
Yeah, this is an interesting one here. Tell us about this one,
Well,
Chris. This is
the electro light guitar by Paul Flynn. Spin it around there for you. Give you a demo. So it is essentially a table lamp. And you can see what the artist has done. He has taken the bottom of the guitar from here and put it up here, and obviously turned it into a lamp, and a very effective lamp it is too. I don't know if you can pick it up on camera with the lights we have here in our exhibition space, but it is a beautiful, beautiful piece. And there's a lot of people who want to have that.
Excellent.
In their home.
I'm going to kneel at your very feet. I am so impressed. But do tell us, it is for a good cause. It's the Musical Youth Foundation. Tell us how they are going to benefit from this.
Absolutely. Well, the Musical Youth Foundation, Michael, as you know, generates funds and provides children with access to music education. It's a life-changing thing to do for a child. Not every child is very well positioned to sort of fit into the academic model that we have in Ireland. So by giving them the opportunity to use the other side of their brain, I suppose, and learn music or art, it's something that they can take with them through life and absolutely every other area academically. So it's fantastically beneficial.
Your motto seems to be every child should have access to a musical education.
I believe so. I mean, whether or not they decide that they want to be the next Bono or the Van Morrison or whatever it is, or whether they just want to play for themselves, at least give them the opportunity. If they decide it's not for them, then that's okay too. You know, we can't all be excellent musicians. I own a saxophone myself. Can't play it to save my life, but I get a great joy out of blowing into it of an evening. It just releases the stress and strains of the day. And you know, as I say, it's not for anybody else's ears, but from a personal point of view, it's a nice thing to be able to do. And I think giving children the opportunity to access music and musical instruments. Because quite often in school or in music shops, they don't touch, and not everybody can obviously afford to go and buy a whole lot of instruments just so that they can see if they like them. So we think it's a positive thing. The results we've seen so far with the children that are participating are just amazing, and that's what drives us forward to continue trying to generate funds and generate awareness for the work that we're doing, so that people can make the decision whether they would like to support us. And I suppose that's what instrumental art is about. Rather than standing at the top of Graphic Street with a bucket in hand, kind of begging for money, we wanted to do something where the public can come, they can get some enjoyment out of something, and then there's an opportunity whether they throw €2 into one of our buckets, or whether they buy one of the postcard books that we specially created, or whether if their budget allows this stretching, they want to buy one of the beautiful pieces that we've seen hanging on the walls here on the exhibition.
Well, one of the beauties, Chris, is that because we're going to be putting this out on the internet, if somebody saw this in St. Year or in Playground and said, I want that piece, that client, could you send it to them?
We would find a way. There would be, obviously I'm not sure about postage and packaging charges, but we would...
They could do it, so Chris.
Absolutely. We've certainly find a way, and we will be putting a lot of the stuff up on the internet in the coming weeks. This was the next job now that the Soul Festival is out of the way. And look, we want people to come from all over the world and visit this exhibition. We're here till the 24th of June. If it's successful in terms of numbers through, and if we generate enough donations and sales of our postcard book, we'll stay open for as long as we possibly can. There's Stephen's Green Shopping Centre have been very accommodating. They've provided space to us for free. They really, I suppose, get the project. They want to be seen to be promoting and supporting children, which I think is a very good thing in these times. And we're delighted to be tenants here with them now. And so we hope as many people will come and check out the exhibition. We've shown them here on camera just a small snidget of what is here. There were so many amazing pieces that we just have people's jaws dropping.
Sure. Chris, last but by no means least, it's at the Stephen's Green Centre. It goes on to the end of June. Obviously, there's a lot of people coming in from abroad. They're all loving it. So all we can say is congratulations. We're already planning for the 2013 Dublin Soul Festival. There's fabulous reports on it. So Chris, what a great work you've done here. Terrific cause. I hope it's a good success.
Thank you, Mike.